Hey, what's up guys? Dr. Jason Lipoff, your network marketing professional. Let's talk for a minute about how to expand your market. One of the biggest limiting things besides facing your fears is I don't know anybody. I can't find anybody. I can't find anybody that to put in front of my face so I can present the opportunity or the product that I'm selling. So let me walk through with you as my brake light just went on. Let me walk through with you what my thought process was today as I was in the Delta Airlines Sky Club. I will preface this by saying that learning rapport and learning how to look for things out in real life, it actually is a skill. And it's a skill that I thought I had a couple years ago. I really didn't, and I learned it from consistent personal development. Those of you guys that you successful people that are listening to this, you know what I'm talking about. Between listening to audio, looking at YouTube videos, instructional videos, and then of course what you're reading. I'm reading a book every single day besides what else I'm doing on personal development, on effective communication, on emotions, on personality types, just whatever, speaking, anything that interests me. So what happened was when I first got, I went all the way in the back of the Delta Airlines Sky Club because I had some work to do. I wanted to read. I had about an hour layover, and I didn't want to be bothered. Sometimes you got to get stuff done. So I'm in the back room. There actually is a woman in the corner. It looks like she's doing a crossword puzzle, and also a woman with a little baby, because she probably didn't want to bother anybody that was around. So the first thing I do, no matter where I am, is I'm scanning who's there. Not to just start a conversation, but I'm just scanning. I'm just thinking, and I create a story in my mind. What kind of person is this? How are they interacting with the people that they're with? How is that person interacting with her baby? What is she dressed like? What is she saying to her baby? And then this other woman, what is, I look and I see her luggage. I'm thinking, she's got actually quite a bit of carry-ons. I'm thinking, what kind of person is this? I wonder where she's going. And I kind of just create stories like this. I do it in the grocery, in the grocery, but in the airport, it's awesome because you can just kind of create these stories. And sometimes I don't talk to anybody, and sometimes I do. So I sit down and I actually break this glass. As soon as a glass of water, and I dropped it, and glass shattered all over, and I actually very gently picked up the big pieces and put it to the side, and I was just gonna wait for somebody from the cleaning crew, whatever, to tell them that I had crushed the glass. So I proceeded to kind of to sit across the way, and I was eating, and I was reading and doing my work, and then finally a woman passes by to clean it up, and that woman in the corner doing the crossword puzzles actually says, "Oh, by the way, there's some glass in the corner." And I looked up and I said, "Yep." I'm like, "I'll take responsibility for it. That was me." And so I looked at her and I said, "Thank you for reminding me." I'm like, I wasn't even paying attention that she was there cleaning up. And she goes, "Oh, don't worry about it." She goes, "I saw you picking up that glass, and I'm a nurse, so I get a little nervous, and thinking that you're going to cut your hand, you're going to end up in an emergency." And so instinctively, of course, instead of me saying, the old me would have said, "Oh, really? I'm a pediatric dentist." Instead, I asked questions. I said, "Oh, really? What kind of nurse are you?" And she says, "A registered nurse, or LPN, is that what you're asking?" And I said, "Oh, I mean, what field are you in?" And so it turns out that she works for the, she's like a school nurse, and she decided to become a school nurse because she has a 3-year-old and she wants to be home with her kids more. And so she now has summers off, and I think her baby and her husband were in Hilton Head, and so that's where they're on vacation. Another thing is, I would never remembered any of that, my old me, but I actually am honestly interested in people's stories because I'm asking the questions, and so I kind of get fascinated with it. And where it was a transition, I used to be the person that I really was just trying to validate what I did or about me, and always making it about me. And then I was transitioning, and then it was, well, I was asking questions, but really I had to force myself to shut my mouth. And now I'm actually truly interested in hearing about other people. And so she was telling me, and she goes, actually Indiana, she actually is like, well, I actually work for a school that's you know, in Indiana. And, you know, she said a couple other things, how she loves it. And then there was my end. And so what I said was, I said, oh, really? I said, you know, by Indianapolis, and she goes, yeah, just south. I go, oh, by like Greenwood? And she goes, right, like Franklin. She goes, wow, you know. And I said, well, I'm actually, my practice is in Jeffersonville. And so you notice I didn't say pediatric dentist, I said my practice is in Jeffersonville. So that led her to saying, oh, what do you do? And I said, I'm a pediatric dentist. And then of course she was asking me some questions about her child and when, you know, the first visit should happen. And then the conversation kind of went into what my practice is like, and I said I focus on diet and nutrition and also with the parents. And she started talking about how her and her husband have, you know, they've really kind of struggled with their health journey. They're both diabetic now, and she's doing Weight Watchers, and she was kind of telling me her struggles, you know, about the fact that, you know, she's like, sometimes I feel like, you know, I'm only paying them for the accountability because, you know, it's hard. I mean, sometimes when I'm working this job and I go here and all you know, I can't make it to a meeting because all I want to do is, you know, spend a little bit of time with my child before he goes to bed. And I said, yeah, I hear ya. And so what did I do? I didn't mention what I happen to be doing or work that are doing with our network marketing company with Beachbody, but instead I used a story. I told a story about somebody that was in a very similar situation to her that's diabetic, and how hard it was for her with a busy schedule. And I started mentioning that, you know, Brooke and I, we present these totally free 7-day like clean eating menus that just allow you to really prep ahead of time, and it may be something that may help her just a little bit along with the Weight Watchers. And so you know, we started talking, and she had to go on her flight, and then she said to me, she goes, I would love to get your information, you know, would you like my email? And of course we exchanged emails, and I'll keep in touch with her, and I'll get her email address. And so and I got her email address, sorry, and I'll send her, you know, some information and see how I can help her. And so the point of me saying this to you guys is there's a process. It's not developing rapport with people and trust and asking questions and asking the right questions. It takes practice, and you will go through a transition. It will seem forced at first, and then over time it will become smoother as long as your intentions are pure and you've got passion behind it. So I hope that helped, guys. You know, I've always been a person, we live in a world where there's so many free mediums for you guys to branch out and share the opportunity and just find people that, you know, to put the opportunity or your product in front of that don't cost anything. Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, I mean, that's totally free. They didn't have this years ago. But it's great to get practice out in the real world. Why? Because it gives you confidence. It gives you confidence because you got to step out of your comfort zone. And I understand, guys, you're going to surround yourself with other people that are like, oh no, but I'd rather do social media. And then the people that agree with you are going to say, yeah, I agree too. Social media, you know, I just stick with that. But you got to get uncomfortable. There's something to be said for that. There's a process, and there's a healing process, and it's worth more than you think. And you actually learn about people better than anything else when you actually start talking to people in real life. I hope that helped, guys. Have a good one.